Mindful stretching. So first we come to stand either in bare feet or socks, with our feet about hip width apart, the toes pointing forwards, and the knees unlocked so that the legs can bend slightly. And even coming to this standing position, perhaps noticing sensations this generates in the body, how it feels to be standing like this. And as we come to the start of the practice, reminding ourselves of our intention to become aware as best we can of our moment-to-moment experience in this mindful stretching. The experience of physical sensations and feelings throughout the body, honouring and investigating the limitations of our body in every moment. Always erring on the side of gentleness and kindness to the body. And as best we can, letting go of any tendency to push beyond our limits or to compete with ourselves or others. So standing relaxed yet alert, on an in-breath, slowly and mindfully raising the arms out to the sides, parallel to the floor. And then, after breathing out, continuing on the next in-breath to raise the hands, the arms slowly and mindfully, until the arms are parallel above our heads, or locking the hands together through locking the thumbs, and standing like this, perhaps feeling the tension in the muscles as they work to maintain the arms in this position, in this stretch. Just open to any sensations we may feel here. Always being mindful of our own limits and letting the arms drop down before the instruction, if that feels best for us. While maintaining the stretch, feeling the breath moving in and out of the body, and noticing the changing in sensations and feelings of the body. Perhaps a sense of increasing tension or discomfort, and opening to that as best we can. And at a certain point, when we are ready, we slowly, very slowly, on an out-breath, allow the arms to come back down, lowering the arms slowly with the wrists bent so that the fingers point upward and the palms are pushing outward, until the arms come back to rest alongside the body, hanging limply from the shoulders. If your eyes are open, you might wish to close them gently to better focus on the sensations in the body, or keeping the eyes open if you prefer. Bringing the attention to the sensations of the body after this stretch. Perhaps feelings of release or relief associated with returning to a neutral position. And after resting for a few moments, we're now going to continue the mindful stretches by stretching up the right arm. Stretching up the right arm and hand. Almost as if you were trying to pick some fruit from a tree that is just out of reach. Stretching with the fingers. And bringing full awareness to the sensations this generates throughout the body. Perhaps letting the left heel come up off the floor to accentuate the stretch. And then very gently, very slowly, bringing the hand back down again to rest once more in a neutral position. Noticing any sensations now in the body. And then this time with the opposite hand, with the opposite arm, stretching upward, stretching up as if you're trying to pick fruit from a tree, fruit that's just out of reach. Bringing the opposite heel up off the floor while stretching up. Feeling whatever is here to be felt. Then slowly, again, letting the heel come down to the floor and bringing the arm back down. Returning again to a neutral position. Just resting here. Bringing the attention again to the breath in the body. And any sensations you are feeling now. And now for the next part of the sequence, slowly and mindfully, raising both arms up high, keeping them parallel to each other, or locking the thumbs if you prefer. And then allowing the body to bend to the left, bending to the left so the hips going over to the right, forming a crescent shape, a sideways curve. Feeling the stretch. And then on an in-breath, coming back to a standing position. And on an out-breath, slowly bending over to the other side, forming a curve in the opposite direction. Feeling the stretch through the body. And then coming back to standing, and then allowing the arms to come slowly down again to the sides, and resting for a few moments in a neutral position. And now we've returned to this neutral position, about to do some shoulder rolls. So just letting the arms dangle, first of all raising the shoulders up towards the ears, as far as they will go. And then pulling the shoulders backwards, as if you were attempting to draw the shoulder blades together. And then letting them drop down completely. And then squeezing the shoulders together in front of the body as far as they will go, as if you were trying to touch them together, all the time with the arms passive and dangling. And continuing to roll through these various positions as smoothly and as mindfully as you can, with the arms dangling. A few revolutions in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Rolling the shoulders in the opposite direction. Open to whatever you are experiencing in this movement. And then coming to rest, resting in the neutral standing posture again. And then letting the neck bend forward so that the chin is coming down towards the chest, just as far as feels comfortable for you. And then the right ear moving over to the right shoulder. And then moving the chin down to the chest again. And then the left ear moving to the left shoulder. Just gently stretching the head and neck, moving through this sequence, the shoulder down to the chest, up to the other shoulder, and then back again in this semicircle. And then finally, at the end of this sequence of movements, coming again back to stand in a neutral position. Remaining still for a while, feeling the effects of the stretches, standing or sitting if you prefer, tuning in to the sensations from the body. Noticing the sensations in the body, aware of whatever is there in the aftermath of these mindful stretches. Taking a few moments to be quiet with yourself. And in the moment the bell will ring, and to bring this practice to a close. If you are extending your practice today to move into a sitting practice, then simply continue through the bell, moving into a sitting position to begin the sitting practice. Sitting meditation, mindfulness of breathing. So settling into a comfortable sitting position, either on a straight-backed chair or on a soft surface on the floor. supported by cushions, or on a low stool or a meditation bench. If you're using a chair and your back is strong enough, sitting away from the back of the chair so that your spine is self-supporting. If your back isn't strong enough for your spine to be self-supporting, then putting cushions for support between you and the back of the chair so the spine is upright. Allowing the back to adopt an erect, dignified and comfortable position. If you're sitting on a chair, the feet are resting flat on the floor with the legs uncrossed. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you, or if not, you can just let your gaze fall unfocused on the floor 4 or 5 feet in front of you. Letting your hands rest gently on your lap. The body alert but not stiff, and the front of the body open and soft. Bringing your awareness now to the level of physical sensations by focusing your attention on the sensations of touch and pressure in your body where it makes contact with the floor and whatever you are sitting on. Spending a minute or two exploring these sensations, just as you did in the body scan. Noticing how it feels, where your body touches the chair or the floor. Aware of these physical sensations in the body. And then bringing your awareness to the breath, on the sensations of breathing in and breathing out. The changing patterns of physical sensations in the body as the breath moves in and the breath moves out. And bringing your awareness particularly to the changing patterns of sensations in the lower abdomen or the belly as the breath moves in and out. If you wish, you may want to put your hand on the belly or the lower abdomen to help become aware of the changing pattern of sensations where your hand makes contact with the body. And then, having tuned in to the physical sensations in the area in this way, you can remove your hand and continue to focus on the sensations here. Just that gentle stretching and releasing. The slight swell and then relaxation of the belly. Soft. Noticing all the physical sensations for the full duration of the in-breath and the full duration of the out-breath. Perhaps noticing the slight pauses between an in-breath and an out-breath. If it doesn't feel comfortable to focus your attention on the abdominal area in this way, then you can choose somewhere else to focus on your breath. Say perhaps the nostrils. Just focusing on breathing in and breathing out. Experiencing the sensations of the breath at this part of the body. No need to try and control or change the breathing in any way. Simply let the body breathe by itself. There is nothing to be achieved, no particular type of breath or state. As best you can, bringing this intention to the practice, simply allowing your experience to be your experience, without needing it to be anything other than it is. And of course, the mind will wander away from the focus of the breath in the abdomen or at the nose to thoughts, daydreams, drifting along. Whatever comes up, whatever the mind is pulled to or absorbed by or distracted by, is perfectly okay. This wandering and getting absorbed in things is simply what minds do. So when you notice your awareness is no longer focused on the breath, you can congratulate yourself because that is a point of awareness, and then very gently but firmly bring your attention back to the breath. Back to the physical sensations of the breath in the body. Renewing your intention to pay attention to the breathing in, the breathing out, and the pauses in between. Not so much thinking about the breathing, but experiencing the breathing at the point in the body you have chosen to notice it. And again, as you notice the mind has wandered, over and over again, as best you can, congratulate yourself on reconnecting with your experience in the moment, and then gently escort your attention back to the breath, back to the awareness of the changing pattern of physical sensations that come with each breath in, each breath out. Bringing a quality of kindness to your awareness. Perhaps regarding the wandering of the mind as opportunity to cultivate greater patience and acceptance within yourself. Bringing a sense of compassion towards your experience. A gentle curiosity. Bringing your attention back to breathing in and breathing out. Aware of your experience moment by moment. using the breath almost as an anchor to gently reconnect with the here and now. Each time you become aware that the mind has wandered off, congratulating yourself on that point of awareness, and patiently, gently, kindly escorting your attention back to the breath, back to the physical sensations of breathing in and breathing out. In touch with this very breath, in this very moment. Letting the body breathe. Curious about the sensations of breathing in and breathing out. Surrendering to this experience. When you feel you have settled to some extent into feeling the breath moving in and out of the body at the belly or maybe at the nostrils, then allow the field of your awareness to expand around the breath to include the whole of the body, being aware of the whole of the body just sitting and breathing. Aware of the changing patterns of sensation throughout the body. A sense of movement of the breath throughout the whole body. As if the whole body were breathing. And at the same time as having a wider awareness of the body as a whole, and of the breath moving in and out of the body, you might also choose to have an awareness of more particular, localized patterns of physical sensations that arise in the body. Perhaps where the body makes contact with the chair, or the cushion, or the stool, or the floor. Aware of sensations of touch, pressure, contact. Or perhaps the sensations of the hands resting in the lap. And as best you can, again with a sense of kindness to yourself, a sense of curiosity and patience, holding all these sensations together with the sense of the breath and of the body as a whole in a wider space of awareness. sense of the breath, sense of the body as a whole, and localized sensations in the body. And of course, again and again, you find the mind wanders away from the breath, away from the body sensations. So keeping in mind that this is the natural tendency of the mind. It is the natural tendency of the mind to wander. It's not a mistake. It's not a sign of failure or not doing the meditation right. Whenever you notice that the attention has drifted away from sensations in the body and from the breath, congratulate yourself on that point of awareness, and then very gently, with great kindness and firmness, just escort the attention back to the body, back to the breath. And then again, as you notice your attention's wandered, you might wish to gently note what was on your mind. And then gently, patiently, re-establishing your attention on the breath sensations and a sense of the body as a whole. Breathing in and breathing out. As best you can, gently, patiently, attending to the field of sensations throughout the body, moment to moment. And being aware of any feelings of pleasantness or unpleasantness, or neutrality as they arise. As you continue in the session, you may experience sensations arising that are particularly intense in one region of the body or another. Perhaps in the back, or in the knees, or in the shoulders. And with this greater intensity of sensation, especially if they are uncomfortable sensations, you may find that your attention is repeatedly drawn to them and away from your intended focus on the breath or the body as a whole. And if this is the case for you, then in such moments you have choices. You can mindfully shift your posture in order to bring relief. Or you might wish to experiment, even briefly, with bringing the focus of your attention right to the region of intensity. And as best you can, curiously exploring the detailed pattern of sensations there. Exploring gently and wisely. What are the qualities of the sensations? Where are they? Do they vary from moment to moment? A gentle exploration undertaken in the realm of sensing and feeling rather than thinking about the sensations. As best you can, opening to whatever feelings are present, whatever feelings are already there to be felt. You may want to use the breath as a vehicle to carry your awareness, to carry your attention into such regions of intensity, breathing into them and out from them, just as you perhaps experimented with in the body scan. Perhaps just gently exploring the edges of intense sensation. And whenever you feel yourself carried away by physical sensations, as best you can, reconnect with the here and now by refocusing attention on the movements of the breath or on a sense of the body as a whole. Sitting in a balanced, erect posture, grounded in the present moment. Regathering your attention on the movements of the breath, breathing in and breathing out, and on the sense of the body as a whole. At this moment. Awareness expanding to include the whole of the body and the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. The body being breathed. Mindfulness of sounds and thoughts. So allowing now the focus of your awareness to shift from the sensations in the body to sounds. Listening, hearing the sounds that are around at this moment, from one moment to the next. Not so much thinking about the sounds or labelling the sounds, but just receiving them as they arise. No need to go searching for sounds or listen for particular sounds, but just as best you can, opening the mind so that it is receptive to awareness of sounds from all directions as they arise. sounds that are close and sounds that are far away. Sounds that are in front of us, behind us, to the side, above or below. Opening to the whole space of sound around you. Allow awareness to include obvious sounds and more subtle sounds. To include the space between sounds. And silence itself, in between sound. Being curious about the sounds, aware of them simply as sensations. When you find that you are thinking about the sounds, and reconnecting as best you can with direct awareness of their sensory qualities. How long are the sounds? How soft or loud? Patterns of tone or pitch. The qualities of the sounds rather than their meanings or implications. And again, whenever you notice that your awareness is no longer featuring sounds in the present moment, gently acknowledge where your mind has drifted off to, and then gently, but firmly, patiently, bringing your attention back to hearing sounds as they arise and pass away, moment by moment. When you are ready, letting go of awareness of sounds and bringing the spotlight of your attention to your thoughts. Just as you are aware of whatever sounds arose, now as best you can, allowing your awareness to discern thoughts as they arise in the mind, in just the same way. No need to try and make thoughts come and go, or try to think. Just noticing when thoughts arise, focusing awareness on thoughts as they pass through the space of the mind and eventually disappear. Letting them come and go on their own, in the same way that you related to the arising and passing away of sounds. Letting thoughts arise naturally and pass away. You might find it helpful to bring awareness to thoughts in the mind in the same way that you might if the thoughts were projected on the screen at the cinema. You sit watching the screen, waiting for a thought or image to arise. When it does, you pay attention to it so long as it is there on the screen, and then you let it go as it passes away. Alternatively, you might find it helpful to see thoughts as clouds moving across a vast, spacious sky. Sometimes the clouds are dark and stormy, and sometimes they're light and fluffy. Sometimes they fill the entire sky, and sometimes they clear out completely, leaving the sky cloudless. If any thoughts bring with them intense feelings or emotions, pleasant or unpleasant, as best you can, just noting the emotional charge and intensity and letting them be as they already are. If at any time you feel that your mind has become unfocused and scattered, or keeps getting repeatedly drawn into the drama of your thinking and imaginings, then just bring your attention back to the breath and to a sense of the body as a whole, sitting and breathing, and using this anchor of the breath and the body to steady and stabilize your awareness. And finally, whenever we feel ready to, seeing if it is possible to let go of any particular object of attention, like the breath, or like sounds or thoughts, and let the field of awareness be open to whatever arises. Simply resting in awareness itself. Noticing whatever arises in the landscape of the mind, the body, the world around us, from moment to moment. As best we can, and with a great sense of kindness to the self, just sitting, awake, not holding on to anything, not looking for anything, having no agenda whatsoever, just open and receptive to whatever comes into the field of awareness. Choiceless awareness, expecting nothing, clinging to nothing. Present moment experience. Choiceless awareness, moment to moment.